MaceFoods is a women-led enterprise that specializes in providing holistic technical support to smallholder farmers while accessing the specialty and ingredient foods market, domestic and for export.
When Margaret Komen attended a trade fair in Germany, she had a eureka moment about getting into the export market. As a food technologist, she liked experimenting with spices, and naturally, her choice of product was a bit too hot to handle.
Everybody was looking at me like something is really wrong with this. Just imagine what kind of meetings I was having with my parents. They've educated you, they've graduated, you've quit your job, and then you're talking about chilies. The more they told me I can't do it, the more I wanted to do it. I mean, for me, it was like, I have to get it done.
And through research, sheer willpower, and good business partners, she got it done. Margaret started a chili production, processing, and marketing company known as MaceFoods. 10 years down the line, it has expanded its revenue stream from just chilies to African leafy vegetables for both export and domestic markets.
We have currently 4 revenue streams. One is chilies bulk for export. We export to Germany, Italy, South Korea, Spain, and for the bulk chilies locally, we are the main ingredient suppliers for all the chili sauce manufacturers in Nairobi. We do flakes, we do the chili seed, we do the powder, and any other mixes that the customer wants. Then the second revenue stream is the retail. So we have retail packs for individual consumers, but we access this market through the supermarkets. So we are cognizant that there are some companies that would like to buy our products, but would like to move our products through their own brand. This is mainly for export. You'll see the vegetables, but the product itself is ours. The brand is another one. And the fourth revenue stream that we recently entered last year is supplying the same vegetables to schools and institutions.
After working with farmers beyond a decade, MaceFoods realized that it needed to restructure its production value chain to address poor quality seeds, energy efficiency challenges, and most importantly, acquire relevant certification to tap into premium export markets.
So one of the things that MaceFoods has done is to creation of drying house facilities in different parts of the country where the farmers are able to dry their produce, and it reduces tremendously the post-harvest losses. And also on the agronomical support element, where we train them on how to handle the product at the harvesting point, at the storage point. It has really helped the farmers to protect the quality of the product, and we don't have those kind of losses.
MaceFoods also started centralized nurseries to provide farmers with high-quality seedlings that are pest-resistant and have better yields.
What used to happen before is that the farmers used to buy the seeds, and then every farmer goes to set up their own nursery. And we had to think, how are we going to bring this process into one controlled system? So we set up central nurseries, meaning a cluster of farmers living in one location have the nurseries in one place. So they all plant at the same time. This brings a lot of uniformity.
The central nursery has assisted farmers to get seedlings without traveling far and without propagating them in their own nurseries. So being produced in a central nursery, it means that it is cared, and once the farmer takes to the farm, it can perform.
In terms of how the farmers have been impacted, they'll have the advantage that they can negotiate for higher prices through high volumes. They are able to be trained effectively when they're in a group. They are able to do what we call table banking, so a kind of merry-go-round where they borrow amongst themselves. They can also get external financing as a group as opposed to an individual.
Apart from creating an enabling environment for the farmers, MaceFoods is also empowering and generating job opportunities for the women through the newly created grading centers.
Initially, they didn't have any form of income. They were just housewives. They were doing, the normal, common manual jobs. And by the mere fact that MaceFoods was able to set up the aggregation center, they were able to form groups. So they are able to save, they are able to borrow internally, and it is something great that initially was not there.
The plucking center has really been a great impact but they pay us monthly. So with that pay at the end of the month, you can do something better for yourself. Like some of us, we've started small businesses at home. Even some, they pay school fees.
At the office level, Margaret is also keen on employing at least 52% of women at MaceFoods. Her vision is to mentor more women in leadership and business.
I became cognizant of the fact that just being a woman and trying to be an entrepreneur and trying to set up the business created more barriers than for a gentleman. So based on that, I decided that, okay, at least 52% of either employees or farmers will be women. I developed a gender policy against it, and it is engraved in our structures.
As a woman leader, it's really inspiring to work amongst other women. It disapproves this notion that women cannot work in an industry like this, the food industry, whereby mostly it has been dominated by men. So it's really inspiring to see women working together and achieving great things in this industry.
Our growth plan is in basically 2 tiers. We would like to create an enterprise that is owned by the farmers and co-managed by ourselves, that is going to run separately from the for-profit entity. The other big jump for MaceFoods is we'd like to start doing the extraction processes from here. One is pharmaceutical for medicine, second is cosmetics for pigment, and third is for food industry. We feel like we are in the right space because if you ask anybody about chili in East Africa, I can bet that we'll be one of the first 3 companies they'll mention. So it's a very good feeling, and I wish many people would create some change that is positive, some change that somebody feels that change is not only monetary. Change can be in many forms.